This is live. Also, this is setting up your meeting. Maybe we're live now. Who knows? One sec. Okay, we're definitely live now. We were also live before. Cool. So what we're talking about is so I found a solution for fixing the incident URL when we view the incident as an issue. Let me just show you what I mean. Okay, so this is the problem we're going to solve, these failing tests, but what I mean is you can look at an incident as an issue. So here is an incident, and you can remove incident from the URL and view it as an issue because all incidents are also issues, and then you have issues, and that wasn't working previously. Now it is because of this change here. This one. So we added the same information on issue as we had previously on incident. So when we load an issue, load this. Problem is we have a bunch of failing tests. And tests are failing, I think, because what it's saying is you shouldn't be able to access an issue if that issue is deleted. So, for example, this. So, when the issue is closed, it shows closed as an issue, it's been moved or duplicated, failed. So it's saying that there's no route matches. And Tristan, you just said maybe it's possible that the problem is we're adding a slash. Could you tell me a little bit more what you mean?
Yeah, that was my first idea. I have another idea as well, but I'll explain the slash thing. So when we navigate to like an incident now or an issue, what happens is when the router loads, the first thing it does is it navigates you to the base route, and for some reason I think this might be like a view router thing or maybe something we've done, but it adds a slash onto the end of the issue. So yeah, it's a slightly odd behavior that has come about from our changes. I think it's because the way we've defined the routes is the initial route is like quote slash quote, and so view router wants to kind of match that, so it adds the slash when we first load the page. My second idea is let me just share my screen for this. Oh, that's weird. It just doesn't look like it's gonna work. Maybe. I need to give Zoom some permissions. Okay, I can't share my screen right now, unfortunately. But what I was going to look at was the issues.rb file. Perhaps you could bring that up, James.
Sorry, I keep talking. Not being on VS Code or Chrome.
Chrome. Yeah, just in the diff. Yeah. Yeah. So you see where So you've got it there in the top right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you've defined 4 new routes there.
Mm.
And in Rails, when you define a path slash route slash URL, you
Mhm.
give it a name. So, or it gets automatically assigned a name by
Mhm.
the automatic magic that happens in Rails. So
Mhm.
you've defined some names there, so it's going to use those. And the name for issue show is issues underscore summary.
Mm.
So I think what is now happening is the Rails specs, the like feature specs for that for issues are referring to a named path.
Mm.
And since we've gone and defined that path now, like the path for that particular
Mhm.
URL, like maybe then that name doesn't exist anymore.
Mm.
Um, so it's saying no route matches action show controller project issues. And I think that would have like automatically made a route called project issues show,
Mm.
or possibly just issues show. And I suspect if we look at the actual test, like we go and find the file,
Mhm.
we'll find that it is referring to a named route that because of what we've done it no longer exists. So that's my thinking, my current thinking for why this is failing. And while you look at that, I'm quickly going to restart my Zoom so that
Mhm.
I'll have permission to share screen in the future.
Okay. Um. So we're looking for the name of this route. Okay, well, this makes sense. This is probably the name, project issues show.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think that might just be giving it a name.
The name of this test.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. I just thought maybe because it's, oh, I don't know how these work. So this is the line that's failing. But it's weird, like it shows closed if an issue has not been moved or duplicated, so it expects the render to have a selector that it doesn't have. So maybe we can run this test and see if we can look at a screenshot and see what it's actually getting. Because sometimes it does that. So
Yep. Sounds good.
and then hash and the line number, and we can run that test only. No. What was that? What? What did I do wrong? It's not the full path, surely no. Bin spec.
I think you need a colon instead of a hash, maybe.
Oh. I mean, at least it's thinking about it this time.
This is
Yeah.
this is going to expose me for not knowing what Rails. This exercise, I can tell already. Some person who's like a backend engineer is going to watch this and be like, what is going on?
We need some more back-end guest speakers on our little streaming show. I forgot to use the new YouTube channel. We have a new channel to use.
Oh, really? Cool.
Where
Awesome.
it's just live code streaming.
Oh, amazing. That's cool.
Yeah, we also have a Twitch, but we'll get there. I'll set it up for next week.
Awesome.
While that's running, I'll make a note for myself to set it up. Yeah, there's been a few other teams that have been involved in live coding, and so hopefully we'll be able to put together a lot of content for live code, and yeah, it should be cool. Okay, it's still running. It's the slower aspect one. All right. So I wonder if we can test your theory by just like getting rid of the slash, or do you think it's going to add it always anyway?
Yeah, good question. I haven't tried that. Just removing it from the router.js to see what happens.
The stupid test passed. That's frustrating.
That is frustrating. It's always it sucks when the test passes.
All right, I'll run the whole thing. And in the meantime, we can test that theory. So what we could do is so here we say incident/ID, that has to be the case. So maybe it's just this one line that's, where is it? Yeah. Get nothing, but like get nothing doesn't make sense. But if we don't say this, then it doesn't work.
Yeah, what happens if we just remove that line?
Then it does what we were getting previously, where we don't want to speak, where it would re-navigate to timeline or the next. Why can't I find this? Okay. Wait. It's line 7. Oh, I don't have the changes.
Yeah.
Weird.
Not on the latest, maybe. Interesting. Yeah, it says here on the right branch.
What? Okay, well, I've definitely pushed. Oh, because I was messing around with this before. Yeah.
That's why your
so
test
resetting
passed.
to the origin. Yeah. I'm resetting hard.
Nice. Cool. There you go.
Now it should be, yeah, great. Cool. Okay. Well, so if we get rid of this line entirely, I'll show you what happens. So we're on issues incident 35. So if we look at issues 35, then it should give us I'd expect to get, okay, so timeline. So adds timeline to the route.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't actually load the timeline. It just adds it to the top, and then we get timeline.
Oh,
Because
that's
Ruby's adding
strange.
it before the view router adds it. So if we revert that change,
I think
Mhm.
I think what's happening there is there's a weird base URL that's being sent. Remember how there's that whole thing of like the URL, like Rails sends a URL to the front end so that we can load it as config into the router.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really strange. I don't know why that would send something, because my reading of the router, sorry, the issues RB file in that case is that it doesn't match, like it doesn't match the timeline route. So why would it send it?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand. So I'm gonna try get empty string, which is strange. It feels like this is something's wrong, right? But seems to be okay, maybe. So we wanted to load the incident. Okay, well, it's doing it fine. All right. Maybe I'll try this. See if that test pass.
Cool.
Yeah, easy fix. And a short stream if it is. Yeah, so otherwise I started working on splitting out the differences. So I have the reformatting of the incident tabs just as a draft at the moment. And
nice. Yep.
So I'll draw out like a diagram that shows which MRs are part of this group of MRs. Yeah.
Sounds good.
If we work on it together, there's no point me tagging you for a review, right? Should just tag whoever the roulette says.
Yeah, that's correct. We have a policy that you can't review your own changes effectively, and
Yeah, makes sense.
we've got both of our changes sort of mixed in here.
Sweet. All right, cool. We're getting a fail, but what I wanted to know is sometimes it gives us a screenshot of what it's doing. It's not giving us that because it's not actually using a browser. It's just checking to see if those routes exist, I think. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a different failure though, right? Failure is current path URL 4. It might be what you said. It's given a specific name.
Oh, now I'm just thinking. Yeah, so the line this is failing on is inside issuables helper.
Yeah.
We're saying yeah, we're writing the line current path colon URL for. So for some reason, it's saying URL for doesn't exist.
Hmm.
So I guess I need to have a read of what URL for does.
Hmm. Would this be better to just pair with one of the backend team?
It would certainly be a lot faster.
Be a lot faster, yeah.
Because
Oh, that's
I
cool.
bet someone just knows the answer.
Yeah. That's cool. I thought that might
Yeah.
be the case, but I figured it's worth having a try.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Let's end the stream here then, and then I can ask for help and
Yeah. Yeah, sounds good. One thing I was
post the
going to
answer
say
if people ask.
before we, one thing I was
Uh-huh.
just going to say before we end is there are other ways to write the that issues.rb file.
Okay.
We've sort of done it like the really like brute force way, which is like define each thing as a separate line. But you can also you can also like do things like you can create this like member object that lets you define things inside that. So
is that like these?
No, not quite. I think we do it in the main routes file a bit more often. But yeah, there's Rails has a lot of flexibility about how you can define URLs. And I think someone with backend knowledge of that, like Peter, who's helped us out on this in the past, would just kind of know instantly what to do. But yeah, so for us to do it, I think we need to do a bit of investigation, a bit of reading of the Rails docs and stuff. So yeah, which I think is really good stuff to learn, because like as a front end engineer, you kind of do. You should probably know some stuff about like at least the backend parts that we interact with the most, which is like routes, HAML stuff. So anything that can go inside a HAML file as to create templates, and also like the helpers that we use to send data attributes to the front end, and also controllers, which is where we like flip on feature flags and stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of Rails that is really useful to know as a front-end engineer. So yeah, something that I'd like to learn more about, but definitely do that outside the stream.
Cool. Sounds good. Okay, we'll end it there, and see you next week.
Cool.
I mean, the stream.